everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I'm just going to be reading a story, Inspiring Stories, and this one is called What Made Me Believe in Ghosts. And this is by Olivia Cowles, I think you pronounce the name. It was during my fall term. The leaves were turning and the Oregon weather was becoming more depressing by the minute. Obviously, as a young adult, freshly in those throes of freedom that college allows, I was drinking on the regular. My dorm had a policy of no drinking, of course. I was underage, but it was not going to be one of those kids who followed those rules. I was using partying as a coping technique to forget all the things I needed to be feeling. Much like the woman who birthed me, including one of those who came before her. Excuse me. This was the time I live as always wanted to. Unlike while I was under a strict tyrannical rule of my father and newly stepmother, but with that being said, there wasn't a lot of options in terms of the disposal of the evidence. I couldn't get rid of any university I went to. I had this idea that I would magically trace it back to me for whatever reason. That my RA would stop me on the way. My roommate would tattle on me. That there was a hidden cameras watching every move, that I would be plain proof of my disobedience. With all that bottles, I thought, what was I to do? Aha, an idea. My house I had grown up with. My mother and sister were still processing. I grew up in the college town I currently went to. I never wanted to go there, but with situations account for, it was the easiest option. My mother had passed earlier that year, my senior year, so I figured that wouldn't be a perfect place to get rid of my bottles. My mom wouldn't be minded. She had been one to know the lifestyle I was currently living. She wasn't the one to judge. Plus, the bright side, the garbage was still being picked up regularly. So, I got into my car, drove straight there. The trunk was full of empty remnants of drunken nights. I finally got there with the key in my hand, and I walked in. The garage code was still the same. The trash and recycle was the same spots where they were always left them. I threw out the bottles and feel the strange urge to take one last snapshot of what had once been, and how they stood still forever. This perjury, I knew it all too well. If I'm being honest, I was probably still in the bottle of grief, though I would never admit it. I was too caught up in all I had to do, who was supposed to be, and trying desperately to show that I was more than okay. No matter how hard I tried to shake it off, I had this strange feeling of wonder. I wanted to get a good look for probably the last time. The image of my childhood home before it had completely changed forever. The first stop in the first stop in my mind was in pantry door. We were the kind of family to market the heights of nobody in the house as we grew up. A memento of time that I showcased the growth throughout the years, an accomplishment for me as I always dreamed not to only be taller than my sister, but also reach my mother's statues. I never did make my goal at the end. As I looked at the door, I feel a height around me. I don't want to move, but I must. I have the kitchen and look through the house. It's all set up the way you can look from the kitchen, through the living room, and all the way to the late mother's bedroom. The door was for some reason the door is open. Lights from the outside from shining in throughout the house, but the hallway is dark. I see a silhouette and I feel fear, but yet strangely am at peace. I cannot breathe. I cannot move. I cannot blink. The figure is tall and slender, with a feminine appearance, short hair, and familiar feelings. It knows me, and it's watching me. I know it's her, yet I cannot believe my eyes, for they must be decreeving me. I don't know what to do. She's smiling at me. Her hand stretched out, urging towards me towards her. But I do not move. I cannot move. In her direction, I know it's her, my mother, who I both love and yet always feared. I don't know how to deal with her presence, and yet I have longed for the moment exponentially. I smiled and I moved back to the pantry door, closed it, and I leave. Weeks later, I visited a psychic. I didn't make the appointment myself. She didn't know who I was or even my name. Yet, the first time we met, she says, "You must be Liz's daughter." She continues to tell me things that I would never have shared, even my closest friend. She tells me you've been back to the house. I don't know how to respond. Yes, our mother's house. Yes, she replies. You were scared. Why? Honestly, don't know if it was real. I answered honestly. I didn't know how to respond to something like that. That's fair, she said. But you know it was her. You shouldn't have been afraid. She misses you. She knows you wanted to see you. She knows you wanted to see you, as you have wanted to see her. I don't know how to respond to this. I was scared. How is a child supposed to react seeing their recent dead mother in their home? I asked. I can't blame you, but I'm only telling you. She starts. She wants you to know I'm here for you no matter what. I'm always here. Grief is the love that no one had. Grief is the love that has nowhere to go. So hold on to the love for me, and think of me when butterflies come. Let me know what your guys' thoughts on that story, if that story inspires you in any shape or form. And if you guys like these inspiring kind of stories, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!